Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now I'm going to show you how to make this pretty blanket. This is called a ripple stitch. It's a really nice textured stitch for a blanket. I've done it in these different colours. This variegated yarn. This is a King Cole Sprite, and I got this ball sent to me. I'm just making a little cuddle blanket here, and it shows you what it looks like. It shows you what it looks like in different colours. Now it's a little bit like that Paris stitch that I showed you how to do. It's little clusters, one goes to the right, one goes to the left, or one goes to the left, one goes to the right, like this. It's a one row repeat, but on one row you get it going one way, and when you do the other way, it faces that other way like that. It's completely reversible as well. It's really pretty in any colour. That's why I chose that multicoloured yarn. So you can see what it looks like in different colours. It's pretty in pink. It's really lovely in a blue. It's really nice in this grey as well. So it's not just for baby blankets. This pattern is going to look beautiful for any size blanket, especially for a bedspread. It crochets up really quickly as well. It's a nice little stretch to the stitch and then it goes back into shape. You get a nice straight edge as well. It's a really pretty easy stitch for anyone, even a beginner. You'll really like this. It's in sets of 3 stitches. You can use any yarn for it. Use the hook size it tells you on your label. Now I've got a UK 5mm crochet hook, and I'm going to show you how to do this stitch with some of this Red Heart Lisa yarn. I've got this little spare ball of yarn and I'll show you how to do this stitch. It's really easy. I'll tuck that under there. Now, a lot of people ask me, how long do I make the blanket? If you Google crocheted average size blankets, there's lots of charts on Google on the different sizes of blankets and how big to make them. Then do your chain to the width that it tells you on the charts, or just do it to the width that you want your blanket to be. So I'm going to start with a chain. I always seem to wear polish that matches the yarn that I'm using. And I'm going to do my chain in sets of 3 stitches. Do 1, 2, 3. Don't do it too tight. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Do as many sets of 3 as you want. So these clusters are made up of UK treble crochets and a UK double crochet. And if you're in the USA or another country, that is double crochets and single crochets. So you're going to go in to the 3rd stitch in your chain. Don't count the loop. Don't ever count the loop on your hook. Count 1, 2 and 3. So into that 3rd stitch. 1 UK treble crochet into that 3rd chain. Now those stitches that you skipped become your first treble crochet, and that one's your 2nd. So into the same stitch you're going to put a UK double crochet. So 1 double crochet into that stitch, and it gives you that little cluster. Skip 2, 1, 2, and into the 3rd stitch, 2 UK treble crochets and 1 double crochet, all into the same stitch. So yarn over and into your stitch. That's 1 treble crochet That's 2, and then do 1 double crochet. Skip 2, 1, 2, then do your 2 treble crochets and 1 double, all into the same stitch, and a double crochet into the same stitch. Skip 2, skip 1, 2, and then do that cluster again. 2 treble crochets and 1 double crochet, all into the same stitch, all the way along to the end. Now remember your double crochet. Skip 2, 1, 2, and then do your cluster. 1, 2 trebles and 1 double. Skip 2, 1, 2, and then do your cluster all the way to the end. So I'm on my last 3 stitches. So on the last one, you're going to skip 2 and just do a double crochet in this stitch here. So just do a double crochet, and if you're in the USA, that's a single crochet. You're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and turn your work. Now into that double crochet that you've just made here, you're going to do 2 treble crochets in here. Now this first stitch will always be just 2 treble crochets. It's 1 and 2. And that keeps your edge nice and straight as well. Now you're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and it should bring you into the top of that treble of this cluster. So skip 2 stitches. We're just going to do the same repeat as we did for this row. So skip 2 and do your 2 treble crochets and your 1 double crochet into the same stitch. So that's 1, 2, and 1 double. Skip 2 stitches, so it should be the last stitch in the cluster. So skip 2 and do a cluster into the next stitch. That's 2 treble crochets and 1 double crochet. Skip 2 and then do the cluster. You'll skip 2 stitches, do the cluster, skip 2, then cluster all the way to the end. And on the end one, you'll skip 2 and then do 1 double crochet on the end. So I'm going to do that all the way to the end. So skip 2 and then do my cluster in the stitch. We're going in the stitch into that third stitch, and then a double crochet. Remember that double crochet. Put your yarn over, skip 2, 1, 2, and then do a cluster all the way to the end, or to your last 3 stitches. So I'm on my last cluster. I'm going to skip 2 and do 1 double crochet. So at the end of the row, it's always just 1 double crochet. Make sure you go into the stitch, not the space, and finish your row with 1 double crochet. And you'll always start your row with chain 2 and turn, and into that same stitch down there put 2 treble crochets. That's 1 and 2. You're not going to do a double crochet with that one. Okay, so remember, just your chain 2 and 2 treble crochets in the first stitch. Your last stitch will always be a double crochet. So skip 2 stitches and then do your full cluster. That's 1 treble crochet, 2 treble crochet, and 1 double crochet. And you'll do that all the way to the end. So you'll skip 2 and then do your cluster into the top stitch of that third one. And remember your double crochet of that cluster. Yarn over, skip 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and then go right through the top of the stitch and do your 2 trebles and your 1 double crochet. Yarn over, skip 2 and do your cluster all the way to the end. So I'm on my last cluster again, so it's skip 2 and 1 double crochet to finish this row off. So you double crochet, start your row with 2 chain, 1, 2 and turn, and put 2 treble crochets into that first stitch right there, and that keeps your edges straight. That's 1 and 2, no double crochet in that first cluster. Then you'll skip 2 stitches, 1, 2 and do a cluster, skip 2 and do a cluster. So your cluster will get built on the end of that one. All the way to the end, you'll do a double crochet, chain 2 and turn, and then you'll start with your 2 trebles in that very first stitch. And that is the repeat pattern. It's just a 1 row repeat pattern of that little cluster. And the way you do the end with your double crochet, your 1 double crochet here and your chain 2, that keeps the edge of your blanket nice and straight on the ends. I'll show you with my other one. So this is the larger one that I'm working on, and look at this pattern. It's a beautiful 3D pattern. It's got nice little bubbles. It almost looks like bubbles that run along the blanket. It's very prominent going that way, and you've got a smaller one that goes that way. But when you turn it, that smaller one is quite prominent on this side. So it is a reversible blanket. Look at that. That's that side. And that's that side. It's the same. So it's really pretty. It's really pretty, and I think you should give it a try. Look at that. And it's nice and soft. And that's the pattern that's in it, with your 2 trebles and your double crochet. And if you're in the USA, that's 2 double crochets and a single. But remember, when you get to the end of your row is a double crochet, you chain 2 and turn, and then you put 2 trebles into that double crochet that you finish with down there. Now, if you need any help, then leave a message underneath the video, but you shouldn't. It's quite a simple little pattern repeat, this. It's very much like the Parisian stitch that I did, but this one is much more prominent. It stands out, as you can see, and it's quite wavy looking as well. I love it. I think it's really pretty. But really pretty for cardigans and hooded tops, scarves, even bags, little summer bags that'll be nice for little, if you did it just a square like this. Do you know something? If you just did a square like that and you just sew up that end, sew up the bottom, sew up the side, and then put a handle on it, then you've got yourself a lovely little summer bag. Look at that. That is really pretty. You can make this into a nice little summer bag as well. It's nice. I like it. This is a really pretty stitch. I like these cluster stitches. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Help me get up to that 1 million subscribers. We're slowly getting there. And if you click on the bell icon, then YouTube will tell you when I put up another tutorial. So you'll do your foundation chain in sets of 3, and it's a small cluster. and it's called the Ripple Stitch. It has got a ripple in it. It's really pretty. I really like it. So until the next time, happy crafting, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.